Okay, welcome back to the Mojave Gardener. I started this project and then realized I should be filming this as I'm building it. We're working on a radial flow filter for the aquaponics system. I'll turn the camera around and start explaining what I've already done. Okay, here we have a small, I believe, 30-gallon barrel that I purchased from a local hardware store from their used barrels. It is food safe, and we've already put in one line here and a drain on the bottom to be able to drain the solids out without having to take the whole thing apart. So, and our next step will be to put a riser in the center up so that the water comes in here and then comes up the center, and then all the solids should fall out into the bottom of the barrel and not proceed onto the grow beds and help keep them cleaner. Okay, on to the next part of this. We have the 11-inch riser inside for this particular build, and also a grommet in the side just at the height we need it. And we've already cut the other riser inside, and I'm getting ready right now to cut a piece of plexiglass for the lid to hold the larger tube in the center. So be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Our next step here complete. We have a plexiglass lid with a hole in the middle and the larger riser sticking up out of it. We'll look down inside, see the smaller riser. The water will come up through there and then bubble back down, and then the solids will drop out and the clear water will come out here and go on to our grow beds. I have a little tutorial here on how to put thread tape on a fitting properly, the proper way. So hold your fitting in your left hand with the threads towards your right. Take the tape and hold it with the tape coming out the bottom, facing back towards you. Place it on the fitting and then go around facing out from you, and then grab the tape and pull it off. You always want to grab the tape, because if you don't, then you pull it to the side and it stretches the tape, then it's no good for your next project. Okay, our next step here is to install the drain valve on here. So we just had our little tutorial on putting thread tape on a fitting. So I'm going to put this on. I need two hands, so I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back here after a little bit of cleanup. Always clean up as you go, makes it easier. You don't have such a mess. That valve is now connected to the bottom, glued on so that we don't have any leaks. And our next step will be to take this out next to the fish tank and get measurements for how tall our support has to be for this. So it's going to have to be up off the ground, probably about 3 feet, to be at the right level. We'll get those measurements and we'll continue on. Okay, it's the next day, working on this solid separator for the aquaponics system. And we've got it outside and on the stand right now. I've actually got it hooked up to the fish tank. Okay, so here's the stand we made and the bucket. We've got the lid on it here, and you'll see where the water comes in at right there and goes up, flows over back down into the bucket. It comes out of the bottom of the tank so that it lifts the solids out, comes up over into the bottom, and then of course comes up into the center there, and then comes out here, and we still have to cut the hole and install the line that feeds the flood and drain beds inside. We'll do that and then we'll be back and I'll show you what we did. Okay, we have the pipe put in here now. It goes into the greenhouse. As you can see, it goes across over here. There's a valve there and a valve there. Actually, it might be a little hard to see. The line ends right there. Inside the greenhouse now, and you can see better how it comes over here, comes into the middle of the bed. There's a valve there, comes over here and in the middle of this bed with a valve there also. Now I chose to use lava rock in here because it's very cheap in comparison to the clay balls that are standard in this, because they are very expensive. It would have cost me about $3,000 to fill these two beds with the clay, expanded clay pellets. So, and we're using a bell siphon here. I'll pull this up. As the water level comes up in the bed, comes to the top of this, and it starts to drain over. Now with this cover right here, you can see it's notched at the bottom. That goes over that riser and sets down there. So as the water comes up and starts to drain in there, it creates a siphon and will drain the bed all the way down to this point right here where it's open, and then it'll suck air and break the siphon and let the bed fill back up to water the plants. And if I have everything set up correctly, that should do that at least twice an hour on these beds. I might have to get another pump, because I don't know that the pump that I have right now down here in the sump will handle that much volume. I think I'll have to put a separate pump in just for the fish tank and these two beds, and leave the pump that's in there for the A-frame here, and I'm going to have tomatoes put along here growing up, and it'll water those also. They'll be in buckets. I have buckets right there that'll have more of the lava rock in them. So, all right. I think that will, oh no, you know what? I'm going to come back in a minute and start the, I've got to put the T in the water line here, this black hose, and run it out so that it starts circulating up and into the fish tank. So, and then we'll have another video segment, and then that'll make this video for now. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we have everything together now. The water pump is running, and we have water flowing into the beds and into the A-frame setup, and everything's already cycled once. I wanted to make sure it was working properly. Had to take the valves out as they were not full flow valves, so they cut the flow back too much, and we weren't able to get as much water out of the fish tank and into the beds as was going into the fish tank, so had to adjust that. And once I get myself a little step ladder, I gotta put the 90s back in. I can't reach them, so I still need to put more gravel and bring up the floor of the greenhouse about 6 inches. But that takes money, so getting ready to put more air lines in, put more air into the water. Preparation for the fish, and also the plants need it. So one more step, almost fully functional. Okay, did a little more adjusting to the water flow, and we're doing pretty good. It's cycled quite a few times here. It's been about an hour since we've been out here, and UPS showed up with our new air pump. Nice and quiet. Doesn't put out quite as much as the other air pump that I built a box for and hung it. It's very loud. Keeps us up at night, so we can't use it till I find a way to insulate it better, because it's pretty loud. But everything's working well right now. We just have to let the system run for about a week or so, and it should start adjusting, letting go of all the chlorine that's in the water that they put into the water. You don't want that in there. It'll kill the plants and the fish faster than the plants. So I guess that's going to be it for this video. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button for the notifications, so next time we post a video you'll get a notification that we have posted a new video. Well, everybody have a nice day and keep growing.